Let's go to this story that's also been developing throughout the course of the day. The Department of Correctional Services has served the private company managing the prison with a notice that it will be terminating its contract. This is the same prison from where convicted murderer and rapist Thabo Bester escaped. Now, in a statement, the department says it has been deemed that the Bloemfontein Correctional Services is neither competent nor suitable to continue with the concession contract. Let's speak now to Correctional Services National Commissioner Makgothi Samuel Thobakgale. Dada, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. What informed this legal opinion?
What informed the legal opinion is consistent defaults that we have observed as the department on the side of G4S. We have the incident of the escape of Thabo Bester. If you analyze that incident, you realize that there were 17 defaults, failures on the side of G4S. We also have gone back to since the contract started and looked at the consistent defaults that are related to the contractor not being able to provide the department through this agreement with custodial services as expected. Apart from that, also, we have considered the conduct of G4S, and that will talk to suitability. If you remember, G4S insisted that Thabo Bester committed suicide in cell 35. They also, even when there was evidence that this was not the case, even when as the department we've gone out to say that we have an escapee that needs to be apprehended, they also refused to give us information, reports, video footage, and that in itself indicates that you have a partner here that is not suitable to continue in a relationship that is meant to deliver services to the people of South Africa.
Pardon me for coming in there. You say that 17 defaults when it comes to this particular matter around Thabo Bester, but there are also other defaults that you're saying, and then you're saying that they're not able to, provide custodial services, and that means, of course, it speaks to their contract, and this, of course, happened before we found ourselves here as a nation. Why were they allowed to continue then with some of these defaults even before this prison escape?
Well, there are contractual dispute resolution processes, including a submission to the supervisory committee that would then adjudicate. And we have issued out those notices in almost all instances. We have succeeded in actually getting G4S to pay the department back in the form of fines with regards to those defaults. But you will also understand that a relationship over a service delivery agreement, especially a relationship that is long-term like this one, when you now have to consider whether you want to terminate or you want to continue, because on a yearly basis we review this relationship, you have to refer to historical defaults that you would have adjudicated on.
So if they've paid back in terms of, as you say, that they've paid fines, how much are we talking about here?
Well, I will not necessarily be able to give the exact amount now, but I am definitely sure that we did get them to pay fines. Remember, also this matter is subject to litigation, so one would not necessarily want to start into the specific details.
All right, let's talk about 2013 then. I mean, the then Correctional Services Minister Sbu Ndebele saying that the privatization of prisons in South Africa has failed, and this was around the Mangaung prison, and there was also quite a lot of controversy that was going on there, and there was also concerns that G4S was not delivering at the time, and the department moved in to then take over the running of this particular prison, and of course there were serious allegations that were being leveled against G4S at the time. Someone is watching tonight and they say that here we are again in 2023 this movie is playing out once again. Same company, the department is coming in to swoop in now. What's different this time around?
What is different this time around is that we firstly started with a temporary takeover by installing a temporary manager. And secondly, we sought a legal opinion. But also, in addition to that, if you go back to the Thabo Bester saga, you will realize that the reasons that the department is actually advancing for making this type of a decision are solid, and we are confident that we have reasonable prospects before the courts if we are to enter into that space with G4S or BCC. The legal challenge that we are currently managing with G4S has to do with the costs related to the takeover in 2013. So it is not that G4S is questioning the takeover. They are basically saying that the cost of the takeover should be borne by the Department of Correctional Services. Now, that is different. Now, in this instance, what we are going to do is to terminate the contract, obviously after the notice of 90 days, and we take over, meaning that there will not be monies paid to G4S for managing the institution anymore. The department will manage the institution and take all the costs.
All right. So
ending the contract of G4S.
So, Commissioner, let's then look at this. So you believe that despite the defaults that you've seen in the past before, where this Thabo Bester matter got to, what happened in 2013, other matters that would have happened around G4S, it was okay for the department to continue with this contract?
No, I have indicated that we implemented the remedies as per the contract, and I've explained that. Now, the remedy of termination at this moment is a remedy that is suitable according to the legal advice that we have received to address this matter.
All right. And as a final question, very briefly, we're out of time. What is the latest on the prison escape saga at Makgothi Correctional Center? I know that one of the inmates was apprehended. The other one?
We are still looking for the other one. We have a track and tracing team that works 24 hours. So we are still on the look.
All right. Dr. Thobakgale, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. That was Samuel Thobakgale, the Correctional Services National Commissioner.